Hey, it's Drybear. Just as promised on the dev stream yesterday, a hotfix has gone live into Diablo 4, making some changes to Nightmare Dungeons and adding some much needed fixes. But first, you should come hang out with me on my live stream. I'm live every single day on twitch.tv/Drybear. If you do come hang out with me in the community, you're going to spend all day worrying about this chore that you have to do at the end of the day when you get home, only to get home and realize that you did it before, you just forgot that you did it. So this is the hotfix for 1.1.0 hotfix number 3. And this is what they were talking about on the live stream. They're talking about how they wanted to nerf the overall impact of Nightmare Dungeons. And the goal was for the top range of difficulty to be around Nightmare Tier 70, the way it was before. And that will now be what Nightmare Tier 100 is. And so they actually have some exact values on this. This is not a linear nerf across the board. It is more at the top end and less in the middle. So as you push towards Nightmare 50, 60, you probably won't notice much difference. But then as you push up to 100, you definitely will. So let me know what you think about these values down below. So here are the examples. At tier 35, in the previous, before the hotfix, the HP was 2% more and the damage was 1% more. So not much difference at all. The change in tier 50 is HP of the enemies has gone down 20% and the damage that they deal has gone down 13%. At tier 70 now, the HP of the enemies goes down 60% and the damage that they deal goes down 54%. This is live in the game right now. And then tier 100, Nightmare Dungeon 100, HP reduced by 82%, nearly cut in half. Damage reduction, or damage that they deal, reduced by 79%. So in general, Nightmare Dungeons past tier 40 or 45 are significantly easier. The enemies have much less health, and the damage that they deal is greatly reduced. Now, this should help with some of the one-shotting, and hopefully with some of the magical damage that they deal, and it's going to make it much easier for more classes and more builds to clear tier 100. Personally, for me, and this might just be a character flaw for myself, I would much rather raise myself to a bar rather than have the bar lowered to me. I just never liked the idea of the bar being brought down so that I could reach it easier. I'd rather just challenge myself to overcome it. But maybe there's going to be more challenges in the future that have that kind of high bar like Nightmare 100 had before. Doesn't mean this is not still a good challenge. It definitely is. It just means that maybe it'll have more build variety for being able to do it because the requirements for clearing tier 100 is now a lot less strict with how much damage you have to be able to sustain and how much damage you have to be able to deal. So let's see how this is. Let me know what you think down below. There's also a bunch of bug fixes in here. Unfortunately, I skimmed it and there is not a fix for the imperfectly balanced passive for Necromancer. Anyone who's following my Necromancer leveling guide, there's currently a bug with Necromancer where you can't put more than 1 point into imperfectly balanced. If that's happening to you and you're following that build, just put more points into the passives in that same tree or upgrade more points into your builder until you can get more down the line. But that's just something we're going to have to deal with. Hopefully they fix that soon. It's pretty rough for them to have a early skill tree bug where you can't get skill points right when the season starts and you're leveling as a Necromancer. It's pretty rough. But bug fixes wise, they fixed the bug with gore quills. There was an issue where it would only fire additional blood lances. It wouldn't fire basic ones. So like you had to have a certain condition. So you needed like 2 aspects to make this work. They fixed that bug. So gore quills hopefully does work now after the patch. Fixed an issue where the Answers in the Ashes quest could have progression blocked if you somehow managed to kill Varshan before the quest updates to the step to defeat him. So if you encounter and get into his room and kill him, it would bug out. They have fixed that. Fixed an issue where buried halls and endless gates dungeons were not giving players proper rewards upon completion. Fixed an issue where the Khan's Grasp Nightmare Dungeon was not giving players proper rewards. Fixed an issue where the Moon Range Malignant Power would cause the Wolves Power to be unequipped from the action bar. This was happening to a lot of people and it was quite frustrating. So this is the one that gives you the extra wolf spawn with the Malignant Heart. And this was causing people to lose wolves off their bar, making them think that maybe you can't equip it on the bar while you have this Malignant Power. That is not true. It was a bug. It would just unequip itself based on the Malignant Heart itself. They also thankfully fixed an issue with Subterranean Legendary for Druid. Anyone who's following my Druid leveling guide, I've had tons of people messaging me about this. There was a bug with it where the landslide that would spawn with the Poison Creeper was doing pitiful amounts of damage. And I was hoping it was a bug and not a feature, and it turns out it was. So the damage that it deals should be more accurate to what they want it to be, much higher than it was before. Fixed issue where the Frozen Terror Malignant Power could also fear the player with it equipped. This was the fear option, I believe, for Necromancer. Or just the general one where you could actually just freeze. You could fear yourself instead of an enemy. So that one's gone. Fixed an issue where Malignant Hearts could be duplicated when salvaging them. I'm happy to share this now because it is fixed. I don't like spreading exploits, but how this would work is you would put a Malignant Heart into a jewelry item, an amulet, or a ring, disenchant or salvage the jewelry item at the blacksmith, and then immediately log out. And what would happen is when you log back in, you would have the ichor, you would have the salvage materials, and the Malignant Heart would reappear in your inventory. So you could infinitely generate ichor this way. So that one has been fixed. Fix an issue where tier skips wouldn't be properly rewarded in certain scenarios. I don't know what these certain scenarios are, but I heard issues of people complaining about this not working. So that being fixed is nice. Also fix an issue where whispers sometimes wouldn't grant experience on completion. I've heard a couple people say that, well, you know, I'm doing whispers, my XP sucks, what's going on? There was actually an issue yesterday where when you would complete whispers, both the Grim Favors and turning it in, it wouldn't give any experience at all. It would say it would, but your XP bar wouldn't move, which means that you were basically losing out on the majority of the XP you get from doing that activity because it gave you none. So this is fixed, supposedly, and then more further stability improvement. So this is the hot fix here. Big changes to Nightmare Dungeons, lots of fixes. There's plenty more fixes that need to come soon, like the imperfectly balanced change, that bug that's there, but hopefully that comes sooner rather than later. Considering this is now the weekend, I doubt that we'll get more hot fixes until Monday, but at the current moment, we'll just kind of have to push through. But let me know if you're trying Nightmare, if you've pushed hard enough to get to this point, and how your season journey is going. If you enjoyed yourself today, leave a like down below. You can support me and my work on Patreon and view Patreon exclusive content, link in the description. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.